in Iran, they have the full government backing for celebrating those very same ceremonies and rituals and traditions. So with the Tajiks in general, Tajiks and like one thing I think more Iranians need to realize is that we have a major cultural tie with the Tajiks in Afghanistan as well. So we need to actually create those bonds because they celebrate Ferdowsi and Shahnameh. Remember, like for Iranians and Tajiks, Shahnameh Ferdowsi is basically more sacred, for lack of a better word, than Quran is to Muslims, right? So the fact that Tajiks celebrate Ferdowsi and Shahnameh, that means that we have a bond with them that we need to work on at some point. So when it comes to countries in that region, Ukraine and Tajikistan are our main allies.
It's actually interesting because Tajikistan is lately like Israel and Tajikistan, although it's not so spoken in the media, but Israel and Tajikistan try to have relations.
Oh
So
yeah,
that's interesting.
really interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. I think Jeffrey wanted to add something, right?
Yeah,
No,
sorry
apparently not.
about that. I was coughing.
Okay, no
So,
worries.
to Danny's point, I think what he's saying is given the role of soft powers playing in the outcome of the current crisis and or revolution that's occurring inside Iran, identify current lines of disinformation the past 24 hours and debunk them. What might actually help that is so Ryan Macbeth, he's actually trained in things like counterintelligence and or political warfare and information warfare. He uses a very particular service that helps you do that. That might be something you might reach out to. I know people that could probably reach out to him. To Armin's point, I think what he's saying also is you don't want the concern regarding disinformation to paralyze action, because that's one of the goals of disinformation, is not just to make you make a wrong decision, is to make you just not make any decision. It's almost like the soft power version of a function kill. And then there's an additional caveat, and you and Goldie talked about this on you had a really good show today before you came in here. I was really proud of both of you. With regards to you, with it was a person from maybe inside occupied Iran, or maybe within the broader Persian, like pro Iranian resistance eh, diaspora, mentioned how the Mullah regime and IRGC put out legitimate commentary designed to amplify co-radicalization with the goal of paralyzing the West. And you don't want to even likes or responses bumps them up in the algorithm, and you don't want to amplify those efforts. So those are all kind of three what seems like competing lines of effort that you have to juggle. I just figured maybe I'd chime in to help in a little bit on that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Right. Next we have MD. Is there an MD? I see an MD. But is the MD here? MD1, MD2.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question regarding believing in God, actually, or not believing in God. I don't believe in God. I believe that there is something which actually keeps all the universe in its place, okay? For example, stars or even the planets around the sun.
You mean like gravity?
Like gravity, for example, but there is something which put gravity.
I believe in gravity as well.
Okay, but there is something maybe higher than that or out of even our imagination that even
sure.
because gravity,
I'm pretty sure there are many things beyond our imagination. The thing is it conscious or not? If it's obviously there are forces that makes the world the way it is beyond our imagination, that's a given. But when you're talking about like I don't believe in God, but all of these things are not even closely resembling a God unless there's a consciousness. Do you associate any consciousness with anything that you're talking about? Saying that there are forces beyond our imagination is a given. I agree with that. But
I believe in natural laws and actually laws of nature, okay? What's the difference
Who
between
doesn't?
okay, what's the difference between this and being an atheist? Is there any commonality?
Consciousness. Consciousness. Do you associate consciousness with any of these forces or any of these laws?
You mean because I'm conscious that there is the
Are any of these forces self-aware? Can they think? Can they get angry? Can they get happy?
no?
No. Okay. So what you're describing is just the laws of the universe. Everybody believes in that. Who doesn't believe in that?
Okay, but there is some theory that actually we are not conscious, and whatever we experience, or even this
That
universe, no, no,
depends
no,
on how you define.
it's just an illusion. What do you have to say about it?
The universe is an illusion depends on what you mean. Obviously, anything that we experience is not a true, complete representative of whatever is out there. So obviously, everything we're experiencing has to be some sort of an illusion because nobody could experience the universe exactly as it is. So it must be an illusion.
Okay. Is there any difference between being an atheist and believing in these kind of things, or all atheists they
No,
believe?
you're an atheist if you don't, because when people say they believe in God, unless they're being poetic and being a pantheist about it, usually when they're talking about a God, they're talking about a self-aware, conscious, self-aware. How about if you don't like the word conscious, a self-aware creator and manager of the universe? So you saying I believe in the laws of the universe, that almost everybody believes in that. So if you are not an atheist because you believe in the laws of the universe, then there are no atheists.
Is believing in science is kind of being atheist as well?
No, no. Being atheist has nothing to do with believing or not believing in science. Being an atheist is a lack of belief in God. You could be an atheist who believes in science. You could be an atheist who doesn't believe in science. You could be a God believing person who believes in science. You could be a God believing person who doesn't believe in science. These are two different things.
Okay,
Yeah.
I think I have no more question at the moment. Thanks.
Okay.
Merci.
Usually, when we're talking about atheist or theist, we're talking about a specific definition of a God, which is a conscious creator and or manager of the universe, or self-aware creator and or manager of the universe, or at least parts of the universe.
Just before I go,
Yeah.
there should be something at the beginning to cause the Big Bang, wouldn't it?
Well, first
In
of
that,
all, begin. Yeah, something caused the Big Bang. Sure, something did cause the Big Bang. Why should we? Obviously, why
what
would
we
you call it
don't
that?
know, yeah.
No, but it doesn't matter because guys, it doesn't matter if something caused the Big Bang because when you're talking about God, it's not enough to show causality between something between. Okay, MD, I'm getting a lot of
I'm,
background
I'm
noise.
sorry. It was just that the
Yeah,
charge.
saying something caused the Big Bang has nothing to do with whether or not there was a God or not, because you have to show a self-aware conscious being that deliberately caused the beginning of the universe, not just that something caused the beginning of the universe. Okay. And also like when we're talking about the beginning, actually, if you look at the new understanding of how time works, there is no beginning. All
Yeah,
time has always
no,
been. So
beginning
it's
and
time is
ending
just
doesn't mean anything.
beginning and ending doesn't mean anything, which also kind of contradicts the idea of God, because God was supposed to start the universe, but we don't have any start. All time just is, according to our new understanding of how time works.
So everything is unknown.
Well, no, no. You're exaggerating. There are many things that are unknown, but there are also many things that are known. We know a lot, but we don't know. We also don't know a lot. There's a lot of unknown, but there's also a lot of known.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Also, MD, based on what I've heard from you, it seems like you're an atheist. So, welcome to the club.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Before I moved out from Iran, I actually was praying,
oh, yeah.
and I believe firmly in God. I used to read Quran and these kind of things. But before a few years before I moved out of Iran, I believed in that time that actually Muhammad was existed, but he was a big liar. Okay,
So
but now even
here's why it's easy for us Iranians to become atheists or at least non-religious is because we have something so much stronger than religion, which is patriotism, right? We worship Iran, and that's why we don't need God to worship because we have our country to serve. We don't need the religious identity because we have our national identity. And our collective identity is Iranian. That's why it's easier for Iranians to leave Islam.
اوکی thank you very much. مراقب خودت باش، لطفا یکم بیشتر از خودت مراقبت کن، چشات خیلی خسته است عزیزم. خدا.
No, that's thank you. Oh, I will. I will. I saw some other people that wanted to comment on this. Did anybody, were the raised hands to be added to the list, or some people wanted to comment on this?
I wanted to comment, comment on the conversation quickly. I hope so. I do believe, like, when you say God is something that has to be like consciousness, but in terms of what we interpret as conscience, like maybe there is some force and some entity that is beyond our comprehension, even in the meaning of like awareness. Maybe his awareness is defined for more, I don't know how to say that, but more sophisticated creatures. And maybe what happens is just like all our universe is just a fraction of what he gets, and he
Wait,
exists, and
sorry,
he
I got
doesn't
cut for
need.
a second. Can you quickly say? Can you say it faster because I got kicked out for some reason? Can you quickly say
Oh,
there's some force? What, like really fast?
like there are some force that is much beyond of our comprehension, is can experience much more stuff than we can, and the whole universe might be just a fraction of this creature God, oh God creature. And I believe that this God has nothing to do with us. He doesn't care of our religions, rituals. What do
Okay,
we
okay, Daniel,
define?
You're saying that we might be a part of a bigger force that is a conscious creature. So when you say might, there is an endless number of things that I could add after that might. That might be true because this is an unfalsifiable claim that you cannot disprove. So you say that we might be part of a force that is a conscious creature. Sure, we might, but we also might be part in the asshole of a giant turtle. Okay, the Big Bang might have, like, nobody could prove that. The
Yeah,
Big Bang might have been the fart
just a big
out
fart.
of
Yeah,
a giant turtle from a parallel universe. Okay, so if you want to add might, then there's an endless number of mights that I could add, which if we want to take all of them seriously, you have to take my theory serious as well.
of
Because
course.
nobody can prove that the Big Bang was not a giant turtle in a parallel universe, and that our entire universe came into existence from that far. Nobody can disprove that,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
agree
just
with
be
you.
careful when you say might. There is an infinite number of claims that I could make that nobody could disprove, and each one of them should be taken as seriously as the other one without evidence.
Yeah, but when we speak on God, it's always a might because nobody
Well,
ever
then,
experienced or saw him or like
okay.
could
Well, then I'm gonna
prove or
take it as
disprove.
seriously as my farting turtle god. Okay.
Of course.
Okay. Okay. All right. And it's Jeffrey. You wanted to? Oh, okay. Go on.
Payman also wanted to add something.
Okay.
Let the other guy go first.
Okay.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Unanswered questions cannot be answered with existence of God. I just wanted to tell it many times because we cannot answer something. The existence of God is not the answer. But one of the things that I really would like we focus right now, personally, is the situation in Iran. We should
Okay.
get back to that discussion if you agree. I'm Iranian, but what I really love is we focus on the
Well,
most something.
In this group, we try to allow the members of the group decide the direction. So you could invite the group to, and when you raise your hand, you could steer the conversation back to that direction. But I try not
Because,
to, yeah.
because I don't know, but we are talking about atheism, because I have a lot of
So
things to
here's
say.
the thing: the way I think about it, right? I want to talk about Iran, right, and what's happening there. But if we have every day here, we have a group discussion, right? So at the beginning, it made sense that every day we talk about Iran and only Iran, right? But if I then come here and say on this political discussion group that everybody should talk about Iran and nothing else, at some point people are going to leave the discussion group. So that's why I try to allow some diversity in the discussion instead of just forcing only one topic, because people are like, okay, but what if I'm here because I want to talk about other things as well? So for the sake of people staying and also hearing about us talking about Iran, we have to allow other people to talk about other things, or else the group will shrink. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Armin. Yeah, that makes sense. And also because I'm new here, I don't know in which direction we
Yeah.
go. So,
But every time you want to bring the conversation back to about Iran, you could raise your hand, and then you could, based on that, you bring the conversation back to Iran, right? So that,
absolutely. Thank you so much.
yeah. Thank you, and thank you for being here. So I think we move.
May I ask if there is nobody else?
Well, can you just raise your hand and be added to the list, because I think we
Yeah,
basically talked
I
about
did.
this enough.
Oh,
Don't worry, you're on the list.
I'll
So
put you on the list. Also, things got chaotic for a moment, so I just want to confirm that I got everyone on the list. I saw Babak raise his hand, and I'm not going to include Payman, I guess, because I think you just wanted to respond to the point. If anyone else, I have Jeffrey, Sabina, Cougar, Cat Lady, Giovanna, and Babak. So if anyone is not here, then I don't currently have you. Raise your hand again.
raise
So
your
next
hand
I want.
again if you're not.
Okay,
Yeah, okay.
I'll add Daniel Dome. Next, I want to call up Jeffrey.
Oh, I was going to talk about that other topic that said if that topic is tabled and moved on, and I can let somebody else go.
Okay, then the next person is Sabina.
Okay, so I did have a question about Iran, but I first I wanted to ask questions, I guess, about the subject that we've been talking about. I think that when the Constitution was written and like freedom of religion was put in there, I don't think they had any conception of the political aims and like seditious nature of those political aims, like of Islam. And, I wonder with this whole metaphysical aspect of it, like, I don't think it's useful to really try to talk people in or out of a belief in God as much as it is to focus on the existential threat of the seditious nature of the political, legal system that Islam is trying to impose. And, I wonder about what our best strategy is for combating Islam. And like the more I've learned since October 7th, just combating all the arguments that the anti Semitic arguments that have come up, it seems like before that, I started searching on my own. Like, I was never taught the history of Islamic imperialism or like imperialism, slavery, like all these things were the sins of the Western powers. They weren't taught as the sins of Islam. And, it seems like, what is our best strategy in combating this shit? It's, and, uh, but,
So that's your question. What is the best strategy? What is
well,
the best strategy to combat Islam?
what should I do personally to not kind of slide into hating Muslims?
Yeah.
And yeah, that would be my main questions. Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the best ways to fight Islam is to be friendly to Muslims. And be anti-Islamic while being friendly to Muslims, because when you're friendly to Muslims, then your anti-Islamism, they would get exposed to your anti-Islamism. If you're unfriendly to Muslims, then they will create a distance between you and them, and your anti-Islamism is not going to rub on them. They're not going to get influenced by your anti-Islamism. The more you are accessible to Muslims because you're not being harsh and to them, the more they're going to experience your anti-Islamic views.
Okay, so like present the truth, but not be hostile, I guess, or
Yeah, I actually go out of my way to be extra friendly because I want to make a good case for, look, I'm an Islamophobe and I'm really easy. I'm a good person. So it confuses their, like, because a lot of them think that Islamophobes are like demonic, evil people. So it confuses the fuck out of them if somebody is like an extra Islamophobe and is like, by the way, like, and also treats them very nicely and friendly. Like, they were like, what the fuck? Like, aren't you supposed to be like the devil, or something, right? So that by itself fucks with their mind, right? If you're just very friendly and also anti-Islamic, right? It just a lot of them question their beliefs when they see somebody who's this anti-Islamic could be this nice to them.
right? I mean, because you get to a point where it's like, why don't people throw this out? Because it is so oppressive to women, when oppressive in so many ways. It's like, why do people believe this shit?
I mean, they don't consider it to be oppressive. They consider it to be protective. That's what they see it. It's also a good way to fight Islam is to really try to understand their perspective from their strongest arguments. You know what I mean? Instead of, because it's easy to make fun of Islam from our perspective, but if you
Right.
could put yourself in their shoes and really try to see things from their perspective, that's the best way to speak their language. Because if you come and just say like, oh my god, you're so oppressive to women, they're just going to think like, well, this person hasn't bothered researching our perspective for half a second. So like, yeah, everybody says Islam is oppressive to women, but if you actually get into their perspective and see their arguments for why this is not oppressive and this is actually the best thing to protect women, then when you're talking to them, if you first give the steelman instead of like the easiest attacks on Islam, they're like, oh my god, this person has done their homework. Like, you actually make their arguments, their cases for Islam before they even make it, and they're like, okay, then why are you against it? Like, if you know these stuff, then why are you against it? And then you
Right.
make your case for why you're against it. So if you actually, basically, before they even get a chance to defend Islam, you bring up their defense for Islam and repeat it to them, then they will take you a lot more seriously. Right. So, for example, when it comes to what do you consider oppressive to women? Let me try to steelman them.
Well, the whole, that women bring rape upon themselves by being immodest, that.
Oh, here, I'll put my Muslim hat on. Where does it say in the Quran that they are bringing rape upon themselves? Where does it say that? It
Well,
doesn't say that anywhere.
I've seen imams say that.
Oh, imams are not as just imam. You're judging imams. You're not judging Islam. If you want to judge Islam, you have to judge the word of God, not what imams say. See?
Okay.
See,
Oh.
I defend Islam better than most Muslims. If you, okay, so
Right.
okay,
I always love the Mufti Armin segment.
then yeah, this is Mufti Armin. So
Right.
what else you got? Yeah.
That Islam is okay with slavery.
Well, okay, so Islam. First of all, God. So slavery is something that God was trying to. You have to look at the spirit of Islam, right? So in Islam, there's a lot of. By the way, guys, this is just me playing devil's advocate. Okay,
Yeah.
so in Islam, what you have to notice is that there's a lot of teachings for freeing slaves, right? So God understood that the entire global economy worked on slavery at that time. So it didn't make any sense for God to come and say, like, give up all your slaves. God understands the socio economic and cultural situation at the time, and God is not going to come and completely ask something that is undoable by the people at that time, right? So God created the means for people to eventually get rid of slavery by making it a good thing for freeing slaves. He basically showed that the attitude to slavery is that slavery is a negative, but by advocating that freeing slaves is something that you will go to heaven for if you do that. So he basically created the situation where eventually the world will get rid of slavery. But obviously, just completely getting rid of it at that time was not within the limit. God understands the limitations of humans and works with their limitations.
Well, and that I mean, I guess part of like where you get slaves is your like political, your enemies that you conquer that are infidels or whatever. Like, isn't that kind of like where
Yeah,
how
so
slaves got?
that was instead of killing them, you bring them under your protection. So when you look at this, guys, look at the 4D chess that I'm gonna do here. Okay, so
Right.
when you go attack your enemies and you kill the fighting men, if you didn't just leave them, they're going to starve to death. The women and children are going to starve to death because you just killed the people who were the bread bringers of your family. So the slavery under Islam is not the slavery of these barbaric Americans that you see in movies, the way they were treating black people. Babak, stop. Like, I'm gonna remove, like, seriously. I'm gonna turn off. Like, honestly, I don't know how to deal with. Okay, every time I'm trying to say something serious, Babak distracts me. All right, what was I saying?
You were saying that like the
Oh,
slavery is actually protection under Islam,
yeah.
like rather
Yeah,
than the
so
slavery.
basically, instead of just leaving them there, right, to be starved to death, right? So I would bring them under the protection, because the slavery under Islam, you treat the slaves a lot better than these barbaric American. Like, you guys, you Westerners watch slavery movies and you see like slaves being treated like, animals, right? But under Islam, slaves were lived with the family, they ate with the family, and they were not mistreated. And by bringing these women and other people into slavery, you're basically saving them from starvation and death, right?
You're actually protecting them by enslaving them and bringing them closer to Islam.
You're also giving them the opportunity to become Muslim, which is going to, because they're now living in an Islamic family. And if you do that, you're going to save their afterlife as well.
Right. Well, I mean, but I mean, like that's what's being said, but I mean, isn't the reality like a lot more barbaric than that? I mean,
Yes, but
yeah. I
yes,
mean, right,
of course. But again, I say these because I'm saying this is the level of, um, this is the Islam that you should be knowing how to respond to.
how to
The
right,
Islam, the Islam that people say like, oh, Islam is barbaric to women. Islam is just like kills and murders. That is like, just repeating that is not going to convince the Muslim who has been exposed to this level of Islamic, apologetics, right?
right.
So just coming out repeating like, oh, Muhammad was a pedophile, oh, Islam supports slavery, they already have a defense mechanism against all of that. So if you really want to defeat Islam, you really have to know the best arguments for all of these points to be able to respond to them when they make them.
But and I guess the question that I had about Iran, was just, what kind of chances do you think we have to like see the army turn like it did in the 79 revolution?
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Whenever we expected something and then it turns out that it was not true, I'm not gonna come here and act like somebody that saw it happening. Okay, so when we failed in analyzing something, or we made a mistake in predicting things, I'm going to be transparent with you guys and tell you, okay, we didn't see this coming and we were wrong. So in response to your question, we are kind of surprised that the Artesh didn't saw this level of massacre happening on Iranian people, and still the defection levels were not at all to the level that we were hoping for, given that they killed this many Iranians, right? So We were hoping that if millions of Iranians will show up into the streets, and if the IRGC, I mean, forget the IRGC, they're foreign forces inside inside Iran. Like
Right.
we see people from Iraq and Pakistan and Afghanistan killing Iranians, and even that did not trigger the people from the Artesh to come and join the people and defend them. That is like, we are very disappointed right now with the
Yeah,
Artesh. I mean,
it's
at
kind
least
of
I am.
shocking.
Yeah. You know what?
It's
Okay,
kind of
I mean, we
shocking
are
that
very much at a
that they saw
time limit
that
here.
Oh,
and didn't turn.
okay. Yeah, we
Yeah,
need to
but
move
We
on.
are
Sorry.
14 minutes in, so we have, yep. Next, we have Sabina.
Oh, Sabina was
That was
talking. That
the
was
brink.
Sabina.
Yeah, next one.
My apologies.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I want to ask about Iran. Just say that Iran gets freed, okay? Look at the bright side, Iran gets freed. But my worry is that what happens if, because of that lady, the messed up hair with the flower in the hair, that woman, the MEK, what if the US government supports her in installing her as the ruling party?
Wait, sorry. What is your question? I didn't understand the question. By the way, I just want to say, Babak, I love you. Okay. I hope you don't get upset with me. Okay. Mwah. Kisses to you. Sorry. But go on, Cougar, again one more time.
Just say that Iran gets freed, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Iran will get
It's
free.
supposed to be the Shah that will do the transition, right?
Yeah, he's going to be the leader of the transitional government.
Yes,
Yes. Okay.
yes, but just for some messed up reason, because the messed up hair, that lady, that the MEK, that lady from the
Oh,
MEK,
Mariam Rajavi. Okay, Mariam Rajavi.
yeah,
From the
Mariam
MEK.
Rajavi. What
Okay.
if the US government
You must dismantle
supports her?
Wait, guys, don't speak at the same time. I'm already
Sorry.
having a hard time understanding Cougar. What is the question?
What if the US government supports her than the Shah?
Oh, nobody is going to support her. Who's going to... By the way, guys, are people not hearing Cougar? Some people are not hearing him. Everybody's hearing him? Okay.
It's
Yeah.
difficult, but yes, I hear him. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, because earphone, I'm on the mobile.
Okay. So your audio was a little bit bad. Who are you worried about supporting? Who's going to support her? Mariam Rajavi?
say the US government says that, okay,
Ah,
we want to install her as the government, not the Shah.
that makes no sense. Don't worry. We're not worried about that. How could you force the MEK on Iranian people? Everybody hates her. That is impossible.
I'm not sure, because every time I get on the YouTube,
no, wait.
What is
How
the
is
Iranian
America
constitution?
How is America going to install Mariam if she enters Iran? I don't know how long she's going to live after she puts her foot in Iran, like given how much Iranians hate her. How is America going to install her upon the Iranian people? Like with what
America has
force?
ways.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
Cougar, like give it a way.
and also, but every time I go on the YouTube, right, like Shah TV and these other YouTubers, outside, I always try to correct them, right, that she's MEK communist, right? And I don't think a lot of people really.
First of all, America can't do that. One, two.
Mm.
Why would America do that?
I'm not sure. I mean, because they have been lobbying and doing all this stuff,
America has been robbing. America hasn't been robbing.
No, lobbying.
Oh, lobbying.
Lobbying.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been lobbying Mike
Pence, Giovanni, and a few others.
Yeah.
And they are supporting her
Pompeo.
quite loudly.
That's not. Do you understand that the U.S. government is so much bigger than those few people? Like that is not enough. Those are nobody.
It's just a what. And also the other thing is that the tactics that the IRGC and the Iraqi army is using against the people, these are all taught by the CCP. People have to know that. Okay.
The CCP has been working, helping the Islamic Republic with intelligence, and monitoring people, but that's about it.
Yeah, they also did a lot of security training in the 90s and beginning of the 2000s.
Okay. So, do you have any other questions regarding the MEK? Don't
No,
worry about the MEK. The MEK will never rule over Iran. Americans don't want that. And even if they wanted that, they're not going to be able to force that upon the Iranian people. The only problem we have with the MEK is the misinformation that they're spreading and the media. But they have close to zero chance of ever ruling in Iran. In fact, they can't even live in Iran, let alone rule over Iran.
that's my only worry because the amount of media outside, I kept on seeing people trying to.
In fact, they don't even want to rule over Iran. That would be their end of. They're making. They don't want to rule over Iran. They're grifters. This is a money making. Being opposed to the Islamic Republic for them, this is a money making machine. They know they can't rule over Iran. They're not even intending to rule over Iran. They want to be the alternative to the Islamic Republic, while the Islamic Republic always lives as a way to convince more people to give them money. They're not even serious about actually becoming the government or anything. This is just a money making machine for them.
Yeah, are also Muslims in Iran?
Do you guys hear me? Are there any Muslims in Iran? Yes. Okay.
His audio has cut out. So we are going to move on again to Giovanna. Give me 1 second. Your mic was muted for not being muted during the speaking, and so I disabled it. Give me 1 second. I'll allow you back in. Okay.
I just wanted to say that unless you abolish this Islamic constitution, which is based on the Quran, you cannot be free. That's fact. It needs a secular constitution based in law and order, and maybe it can be modeled after the constitution before the Islamic revolution, but it has to be updated to comply with international law.
The Iranian people's desire for secularism is beyond any country in the world, and I could guarantee you that secularism is not something that we have to worry about in our upcoming constitution.
It is because
There,
people
in
are
fact, if
sorry,
huh?
because people of Iran are programmed in a way to like via tradition and rituals and all that stuff and the belief of the Quran into believing wrong things, basically things that
Okay,
are
I think
made
you're
up.
misinformed. The Iranian people are the most
I'm not
anti-Islamic people
misinformed.
in the
I'm
world.
one of the best informed people on the planet right now.
The Iranian people are not programmed for anything Islamic. Wait, are we speaking at the same? Okay, make your point and then I'll make my point. But let me know when you're finished.
You
so
were
I
just
could speak.
defending Islam a couple of minutes ago.
You are definitely not informed. I am very against Islam. I was playing devil's advocate. I actually clarified multiple times that I was playing devil's advocate. I am very aggressively anti-Islamic. So it's interesting that you say that you are very informed, but you couldn't tell that I was actually acting.
I'm a little
I
bit
said,
upset because of my situation right now. Yeah.
okay, so let me clarify. I mentioned that I'm playing devil's advocate. I said, let me put my Muslim hat on. I said, let's play the steelman so that we could fight Islam more effectively. So I was trying to. Sabina was asking me questions about how to fight Islam, and to show her how to fight Islam. I want to wipe Islam off the planet, off the entire world,
Me
not just
too.
Iran. Okay, so don't think. So you misunderstood when I said when I was defending Islam, I was pretending to be an Islam defender, so Sabina could see what are the most sophisticated ways to defend Islam, so she could deal with a more sophisticated, so she could attack a more sophisticated version of this defending Islam. That was what I was doing. Okay, so I was trying to show her how a harder target looks like, so she's not just dealing with the lamest attempts defenses of Islam. That's what I was doing, right? So I'm very aggressively anti-Islamic, very aggressively, right? And also, so are the Iranian people. And when it comes to Iranian people, they are the most I'm proud to say that Iran is the Islamophobia capital of the whole world. And in fact, if when it comes to our constitution after the Islamic Republic falls, not only you don't have to worry about it becoming secular, you actually have to be worried about the safety of the mullahs after the Islamic Republic falls, because secularism is not enough for the Iranian people. Even the laicite version of France is not enough for the Iranian people. After what Islam
Yes,
did to the
but
Iranian people,
sorry,
after
I
what
mean,
is hold on, let
yeah,
me make
okay.
my point. After what Islam did to the Iranian people, there are millions and millions of Iranian people that want to wipe Islam out of Iran completely, not just out of government, but off of everywhere in Iran. So secularism is just the first step. The Iranian people want to completely eradicate Islam
Yes,
inside
that is
Iran.
precisely that is the problem, because you need to have compassion for the people who are still trapped in the programming of the Quran of the and Islam.
I,
So secularism has to be implemented in a compassionate way.
I agree with that, but I'm just saying when it comes to worrying about religion and governments, I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay, we found some common ground. That's cool.
Yes.
So basically, the next steps is to take all the people who fight against the Islam to fight actually for something, for secularism. So it is not like what you resist persists. If you fight against something, you basically prop it up. If you fight
Yes.
for something, you disable the thing that you are fighting against, because you're putting your energy into building something new. That is the
So
key to success.
So these are the four things that the Iranian people are fighting for. Okay, so they're
That's
fighting
yeah.
for democracy, secularism, border integrity, and equal individual rights before the law. These are the four things that right now Iranians are fighting for.
And that are predominantly, I believe, American values. As I am, like, my sister is a naturalized American. I am by descent American. Like, my grandfather was half American. Like, he was a CIA asset too. And yeah,
Yes, they're also American values. I agree.
Okay, next up we have Babak.
We're good.
And
We're
everyone,
good
a
there.
reminder, we're doing a hard stop 5 minutes because
okay.
we've got a number of people to get through.
Yeah. Thank you, Joanna. Giovanna. Unmute yourself.
Can he?
I can't. Who's speaking?
Babak is speaking, but he's muted.
Babak.
Babak,
Yes.
are you speaking? Babak, are you
Armin,
speaking
maybe
to your?
you muted him.
Wait, hold on.
I
No,
pressed
no.
allow audio. I think it's an issue.
Okay,
Sorry,
Babak,
can
speak.
you hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Sorry, brother. Nothing that you said had anything on me. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for.
Yes, I love you. Okay.
I love you too. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
But
yeah. You were just. I just got distracted because you were doing the. You were doing the sixth position while I was trying to think of what to say to Sabina. And you were basically doing the
I'm a fucking Iranian. Okay. Stop.
Okay, but like I was like I'm trying to think what I was saying, and you were like on your camera and you're basically acting like you're fucking somebody. I'm like, what the hell is this guy
I'm
doing? Okay, so
sorry. I'm sorry,
it's okay.
brother. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. All
But
right. So
just to get back to what the guy was saying, he came with it, and he fucking came with it hard, and he said it as it was. Okay, hey, what about D? And yeah, exactly. What happened?
I don't understand. By the way, I don't understand anything that you're saying right now.
I'll make it very, very clear. Okay, what he said was, hey, what about when
Who are you talking about?
I'll come with it, brother. I'll come.
Okay, okay.
When he
Just get to the
said,
point.
I will.
Okay.
When he said that, hey, but what about when the what's it called, the ah,
All right.
the,
All right.
the
Baba, I
the
think
when
you should.
I'll do it quick. I'll really do it quick, okay? But
Okay, you
when we are
already passed.
talking
You have a
about when
3 minute time limit. You already passed 2 minutes, so you have 60 seconds.
I will do it quick. I will do it quick. Brother, I'm sorry. But when we are talking about when you have it.
We need to move on. I have no idea what you're saying. How about you think about what you want to say and you type it in the chat and somebody will read the question, because
I will.
hearing is
I'm sorry,
he. Okay,
brother. I'm
that's
sorry.
okay. That's okay. You're just write your question in the chat because I have no idea what you're saying.
Next, we have MD.
Thank you very much, BT. My apologies, Armin. I misunderstood and I just asked if I could speak because I couldn't see the chat to see. I thought everybody was finished talking. Anyway, what's your argument regarding birth and death?
Death?
Yes.
What's my argument? You have to ask a specific question.
As an
I mean, it's like okay, it's like saying, "What's your argument regarding water?" Like you have to ask a specific question.
Against religions.
Are you asking me about my opinion about life after death?
No, after death.
Okay.
Before birth.
Before birth, there is no life after death. In my opinion, there is no life after death or before birth. There you go. That's my answer.
What about the consciousness? What will happen to consciousness when
it will stop? It will stop. It will stop. You will stop being conscious.
What is going?
Yeah, anything that could be described as consciousness requires a brain to process it. So once your brain rots away, there is nothing to process consciousness. There you go.
Is there anything in the universe has got consciousness?
Consciousness, anything that could be described consciousness requires processing, requires something to process information. So if you have consciousness, you need an information processing unit to have anything resembling consciousness, like a brain, for example.
What about, for example, the trees, vegetables, and these kinds of things? Do they have consciousness or no?
No.
How do they
unless
know?
Unless you want to dramatically change the definition of consciousness.
How do they know they have to reach up to gain the sunshine? Because they're competing to get sunshine.
But no knowledge, just because something is moving towards, just because something, you can't describe chemical reaction as knowing. Knowing is a specific is a specific word that we use for a specific kind of information storage. So just not all forms of chemical information can be described as knowledge.
Okay, I got my answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, moving forward in the list, we have Daniel Dome, Heidi, Samantha, and Susie. Everyone, can you double check what question you have? If it's relevant to Armin himself, then please go ahead and move forward when you're called. Otherwise, reminder that we will all stay on the call after Armin leaves. He has a sharp 2:00 cutoff time so that he can go eat. Next, if it's relevant, Daniel Dome.
Yeah, so it's a personal and a geopolitical question in the same time. Be ready for that, Armin. Would you want to be the president once in Iran when Iran will be free, or some leading role?
No.
Any political role?
I love my family too much to put them in risk.
Well, but why do you think it will be risky?
Well, because I'm I mean, even the president of the United States is the most dangerous job in America, right? And in America, the president, even though with all the intelligence and all the security that they have, it's still the most dangerous job in America. I mean, Trump almost died. So imagine how dangerous it is for you to be a president in Iran, especially a country that just got freed, right? Also, who wants all of that attention? That's too much attention. I mean, you're basically saying no. Like, if I already live an unnormal life, which is not very pleasant to the people around me, right? So why would I want to add to that to make it even
So,
more the center of attention, right?
so could you describe a person who would want to have any leading role in the future Iran?
What do you mean describe as in like?
What kind of
Oh,
person would you
I
like?
guess a person. What kind of person would I like, or what kind of person would
No, no,
want to become president? First
yeah.
of all, I don't think we're
If
going
you
to have a
can,
president. I think we're going to have prime minister, by the way.
like, could you describe what kind of a person should it be?
I think I would like the Sayyid Qasim to become the next prime minister of Iran. I would like that. He's the person who is the main advisor to Prince Reza Pahlavi
Like,
right
what
now.
qualities should a person have
They
to?
need to be extremely patriotic. They need to have a record of serving Iranians, and they need to also, their record during the revolution is very important. Like the people who were contributing part of the revolution, the people that went above and beyond to serve, Princess of Pahlavi, and also to serve the Iranian people to free Iran. So we need to look at that track record. So they need to have a lot of merit. They need to be knowledgeable, they need to be wise, they need to be level-headed, they need to be people that have demonstrated that they work very well under extreme pressure, but they also have to have a good record of being on the right side of history during this revolution and doing everything in their power right now. Like all the people that have right now fighting, we're going to look at, when we're doing the elections, eventually we're going to look at who was doing what at these times, as the times that we're in right now. Does that make sense?
Yes, but also maybe I'm wrong about it, but most of the time, a leading politician is not only having the good sides, but also have like he can shake hands with real bad people. Like I don't know, like Bibi Netanyahu went to Moscow and shake hands with Putin, as an example, right? So
I'm sure, like Princess Pahlavi and his entire team agree that once we have a new government, we have to be trying to have a good relationship with the leaders of all countries as much as possible. So I think that's a given.
Okay, next up
right.
we have Heidi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, it may be past, but I just wanted to say to Sabina that regarding religion, the founding fathers actually did know quite a bit about Islam. The first war the United States fought was against the Barbary pirates and piracy in the Mediterranean area. But the way the founders dealt with it is that it wasn't necessarily a federal government issue at that time because there was no 14th Amendment. So on the federal level, separation of church and state was the ideal, but they did not extend that to the states. And the states, at the state level, religion could be restricted. And in fact, the first 9 states out of the first 13, so 9 out of 13 of the first states did actually have a religion requirement to hold public office. You had to be anywhere from a specific denomination of Christianity to just a Christian denomination. So that's how it was handled back then. And then, of course, after the Civil War, things changed, and now you have this sort of separation of church and state, but that was not actually a part of the original Constitution. That's all.
Thank you for that. There's 2 more people left, right?
Yes, so I'll be reading the question. Samantha would like to know, is the reason Armin is nice to Muslims the same reason he is nice to me as a communist?
No, I like Samantha. No, no. I genuinely do like, well, I mean, I do, well, I mean, I do like the Muslims that I'm nice to as well. I am, when I say like be nice to them because that's the best way to get them exposed to more, views, anti-Islamic views. I'm not suggesting that we should be acting. Like I have a policy of, when I mean, I have this policy. I don't follow it always, as you saw with Babak, right? But I have a policy that I try to follow. That I just want to be as nice as possible, as nice as I could be. I mean, sometimes it's difficult when things get frustrating, but I think like it's just better to be nice to people, right? And I also believe that, so maybe it's a little bit related because I don't think that people are bad because they're wrong, right? So if somebody is a Muslim, I consider them to be wrong. Just you're not a bad person for coming to wrong conclusions. So why should I be mean to you? You just had a misunderstanding. I'm not pretending to be nice to them. I'm trying to genuinely be nice to them. And the way I do it is that I think that, well, they're wrong about Islam. I'm probably wrong about something else. Like, why should I be mean to them because of them being wrong about something? They got lucky; they're wrong about the worst thing possible, right? But I'm pretty sure I have some wrong beliefs. Like, would I want to be mistreated by somebody for having the correct position against me because I have the wrong position? So, I just think that mistreating people because of having the wrong beliefs, even if it's completely idiotic, I think so. The way I look at it is that I value kindness more than intelligence, right? So intelligence might not be very common, but kindness is common, right? So when it comes to an intelligent person that is unkind and a kind person that is really dumb, I prefer the kind dumb person over the intelligent a-hole, right? So I value kindness in people more than I value intelligence. So if somebody has a really dumb position and believes in wrong things, I try and sometimes fail, but I try not to get frustrated with them and I judge them based on how good of a person they are when it comes to being, showing kindness to other people. I try to judge them based on that more than how smart they are and how good their takes are, right? So, but Samantha, with you, you have some really good takes. Honestly, I disagree with you on your communist takes. But even if I was judging you based on your intelligence, I can see that you're a very genuinely kind person. So I really do like you. I genuinely am happy to have you as a friend. But even if I was judging you based on intelligence, I actually admire that you, even if I think you still have some wrong positions, you have done something that is really difficult for most people to do. You overcame your brainwashing. You basically managed to escape a cult, and that is such a difficult thing to do. So for me, you are something that I admire. You're somebody that I admire. I actually consider you above those people. I'm just nice to just because I think it's good to be nice to people. But for me, you're somebody that I really look up to as somebody who managed to undo the brainwashing, undo the programming, and basically escape a cult that she was trapped in. So yeah, no, my respect and admiration for you is goes beyond what I have with other people that I'm just on average nice to.
Thank you for that, Armin. Last but certainly not least, we have Susie, and then I have a question to read to you once the recording is off.
Okay.
I'm really quick. I just wanted to say thank you, Armin, and thank you everyone here in our AR community for sharing the post and the story of the abduction of my friend's cousin by the Islamic Republic. She wanted me to tell you how thankful she is and how thankful she is to everyone in our community and how much it means to her. It was funny when you were sharing the information on the stream yesterday. I was about to text her that we did it before I got a text from her being like, "Oh my God, thank you." I was like, "God damn it." So that was the main thing I wanted to say is just like, thank you, everyone, especially Armin.
Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Thank you.
Yeah, if you have a question, we can just go to that.
I also want to mention I'm so happy that Susie's here with us. I know I already said that, but the fact that she comes here now brings back old times.